morning. What a great day to start your day at the landfill, right? Welcome to Miramar Landfill and to our greenery section. I'm San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria. I'm joined this morning by a number of leaders in our sustainability environmental world. Council President Sean Elo-Rivera is here. Renee Robertson, who is the director of our city's Environmental Services Department. Ryan Rizzuto, who is the executive chef at Kitchens for Good. And we have representatives from a number of key partner agencies with the city of San Diego, including I Love a Clean San Diego, the Solana Center, the San Diego Food System Alliance, and the San Diego Food Bank, as well as Feeding San Diego. We also have some of our other department directors who are here. I'm glad to see you guys present. So let me give you a quick update. Last year, we launched our city's visionary climate initiative, Our Climate, Our Future. This is an ongoing municipal commitment to confront the climate crisis equitably and address the environmental, health, safety, and economic needs of our residents and local small businesses. Today, I'd like to give you a few updates on components of Our Climate, Our Future, and announce an important addition to the measures that we're taking to address the climate crisis. Now, guiding our efforts to address the climate change is our Climate Action Plan. That updated draft is designed to ensure that San Diego does its share to curb greenhouse gas emissions while maximizing local benefits and increasing resilience to the effects of climate change. We issued that draft report a number of months ago. We've been soliciting public input. I'm pleased to say that hundreds of San Diegans have taken the opportunity to weigh in on this draft plan. Particularly proud to say that over a third of those who have weighed in are younger people, ages 18 to 34. I really want to applaud these young folks, young San Diegans, who are making their voice heard on this issue that clearly impacts them and their generation, and for whom we had in mind when drafting this plan. We want to make sure the San Diego that we inherited is something that we can pass on to younger generations, to our children, our grandchildren, and their grandchildren. I want to remind folks that they can continue to provide public input on this important document through our city website, sandiego.gov/CAP, Climate Action Plan, or by sending us emails and letters, or by sharing your feedback at an upcoming city council meeting when we anticipate hearing this item sometime in the spring. Now, we have a long list of progress on our components of Our Climate, Our Future, but the one we are here today at the landfill to focus on is our city's investments in reducing the amount of food and organic waste that end up in our landfills, like this one right here. It is important to curb this. I want to share this because I recognize a lot of us understand intuitively, like recycling, that's important, but this is really critical for climate action, and let me tell you why. When food scraps and yard waste and other organic matter sits and rots in our landfill, it gives off greenhouse gas emissions. It's not just about the tailpipe on your car. It is about what happens right here on this landfill. And I want to tell you, this is no small matter. Overall, nearly 40% of what San Diegans throw away is organic waste, with 15% of our total waste being food waste. If we let this material go into our landfill, we're missing out on the opportunity to recycle it into soil-enriching compost or even into energy. So we're going to be making some big changes here in the city of San Diego on how we dispose of organic waste. Over the next year, the city will roll out a variety of components to meet our state's new requirements under California State Senate Bill 1383, which mandates organic waste recycling, as well as the city's zero waste and climate action goals. The incredible Renee Robertson will tell you a little bit more about that. I'm really proud of her. She does a fantastic job for environmental services, picking up garbage all across the city, making sure we stay compliant with a whole lot of rules and regulations, running the cleanest landfill. I know it smells a little bit. You can't get rid of that part of it, but it is still really, really well-run landfill, thanks to Renee and her entire team at ESD. She's going to share some more details on the plans that we're going to be rolling out here in just a moment. Now, as these services and investments come online, we'll be engaging residents and businesses to partner with us to help explain why these waste reduction efforts are necessary and how we can make them most effective. Leading this effort at the city council level, and my partner in governing the entire city, is our city council president and our District 9 representative, Sean Elo-Rivera. Sean has been a longtime climate activist, and he is now helping to lead the city council, the mayor's office, the city council, the city attorney's office. We're all working together to make sure San Diego stays on the forefront of fighting climate change. And I want to ask the council president to come up and give us a few words. Council president?
Thank you again, Mayor. And I want to thank the mayor and his team for their leadership on climate and environmental issues. Since entering office, his team hit the ground running and strived to advance sustainability across sectors and policy areas to steer the big ship that is the city toward action rather than just talking about climate action. Highlighting how the city will be implementing organic waste collection is another example of this. Zero waste goals are often an overlooked component of the city's climate action plan. But waste diversion is crucial to our environmental goals, as the mayor mentioned. In the draft CAP update, it's the climate action plan, the city calls waste-related policies the circular economy. But whatever we call it, it's just as important to achieving our waste goals as it is to shift our transportation targets. No component of our climate action plan is less important than another. We can leave no stone unturned when it comes to climate action, including trash. Central to our efforts to achieving zero waste is implementing State Bill 1383. The mayor and city staff have done a great job gearing up for that rollout, and the city council is demonstrating a substantial commitment to organic waste recycling. In the current budget, this fiscal year, my colleagues and I allocated nearly $500,000 for new staffing, $1.5 million for necessary equipment, software and supplies, and over $5 million for upgrades to facilities so that we can process organic waste. In total, the City Council budgeted nearly $8.2 million for SB 1383 implementation. This is not cheap, but it is important. As I have said multiple times, budgets are value statements. With investments in organic waste recycling, the City Council is demonstrating that San Diego is taking climate change and zero waste goals seriously. And funding and implementing our climate action plan will continue to be a focus under my council presidency. That said, residents will understandably have questions and possible concerns about requirements for organic waste disposal. City staff is planning robust outreach and educational efforts, but I also encourage residents to contact their city council member. My colleagues and I stand ready to assist in the effort to bring a more sustainable future. On this point, I want to mention that we often focus on the burdens associated with climate action. In this case, people will need new green containers and the city will assume additional costs. But every time we talk about climate action, there is so much to gain. And by fully and quickly implementing organic waste recycling, we can have cleaner air and waterways, healthier soil, dignified and well-paying careers, more recycled material, feed the hungry, all while reducing emissions and mitigating the long-term impacts of climate change. And I'd be remiss to not mention, we stand just minutes away from one of the world's finest research institutions. We have world-class research here. There's no reason why that our world-class research institutions cannot help us develop a world-class waste system. I'm excited for this new service to come online and would like to thank Mayor Gloria again for his leadership. I now welcome the real expert here, Renee Robertson, Director of our amazing Environmental Services Department, to provide remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Good morning. My name is Renee Robertson, and I'm the Director of the Environmental Services Department. As a native San Diegan, I'm proud to work with and represent the hardworking staff of this department who are dedicated to providing organic waste recycling to all of San Diego. This is a large undertaking, and we are currently working carefully to make sure this is an easy transition for everyone. Organic waste is food scraps, yard clippings, untreated wood, and even food-soiled paper. According to the city's comprehensive waste characterization study, about 39% of what San Diego throws away is organic waste. Decomposing organic waste in landfills, as has already been mentioned, creates greenhouse gases, emitting 20% of the state's methane. This climate superpollutant is 84 times more potent than carbon dioxide. To respond to the climate crisis, the state of California implemented an organic waste recycling and food recovery mandate, with the goal of reducing organic waste disposal 75% by 2025. Under the state mandate, residents and businesses are required to separate food scraps along with the food-soiled paper, yard trimmings, and add them to a green organic waste bin. Whether you live in a single-family home, apartment, condo, we will all be learning how to recycle organic waste together. And this process will convert food and yard waste into compost or energy, closing the loop and making it available for use again. This is the biggest change to solid waste management since the late 80s. And it's the easiest and fastest thing every person can do to fight climate change. In anticipation of this, the department has been purchasing and preparing the necessary elements and working with CalRecycle, the state's regulatory agency, to implement best practices and educate our stakeholders. The city's recycling ordinance and franchise hauling agreements are being updated to reflect the addition of organic waste required for all homes and businesses. A key element of compliance with the state mandate is the ability to compost organic waste. So it's fitting that we are here at the award-winning Miramar Greenery today. This facility has been an industry leader in composting food and yard waste, and the specialized compost heaps behind me are just one example of that. The department received a permit in 2009 to enlarge and expand the composting operation. The greenery has been successfully composting thousands of tons of food waste from large venues for nearly 2 decades. The compost and mulch created right here goes back out into our communities to support healthy soil and reduce erosion. Compost and mulch application is considered a best practice for agricultural and food production. Those microbes and nutrients in compost support healthy soil, which is also being studied for carbon sequestration ability. Residents can self-load compost and mulch for free to use in their yard right now. This summer, when we expand to weekly organic waste collection to city service properties, the Miramar Greenery will recycle all that material into compost. Those properties serviced by the city will receive a green bin and a kitchen pail delivered to your home free of charge, and no action is needed on the part of the resident to receive that container and pail. Other key components include the receipt of 40 new collection vehicles and trucks, hiring of new drivers. There's a nationwide commercial driver shortage, and to address this, the city is offering a council-approved sign-on bonus program for sanitation drivers. If you or someone you know are interested in joining our amazing team, please visit sandiego.gov. We know many of you are excited about this new service. The city will be providing updates and the latest program information in various languages moving forward. I know San Diegans will participate in creating compost from our organic waste, but there is another more pressing challenge that we can support. That is getting edible food that would normally be wasted to our food insecure neighbors. To speak more about food recovery programs is Ryan Rizzuto, Executive Chef at Kitchens for Good. Ryan?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the Mayor's Office for your support in this initiative and for being here at a landfill so early in the morning. At Kitchens for Good, our motto is food changes lives, and we believe that food can inspire, motivate, and uplift communities. I, for one, know that a bowl of my mom's tortellini soup nourishes and warms my soul. Over the holidays, when I was craving that warmth, I whipped up a batch of tortellini soup. I cleared out my fridge of all the onion, carrot, and celery scraps that I could collect, and I dropped them into a pot and covered it with water and let it simmer for a few hours with the rind of a leftover Parmesan cheese. When I lifted the lid a few hours later, I was engulfed in the aromatics of a robust vegetable stock. Never did I realize that a batch of tortellini soup had the power to redirect pounds of food waste from the landfill. Each spoonful, then, tasted that much better. Writer and food activist Michael Pollan tells us that food and cooking and eating is a political act. We implement that ideology at Kitchens for Good. Prior to COVID-19, we reclaimed food destined for the landfill and used it in apprentice instruction and hunger relief meal production. Once the pandemic hit, we were forced to rapidly expand our hunger relief meal operation, producing over 300,000 meals since March of 2020. As a result, reclaiming food became more challenging as food scraps and food waste and food rescue was spread out amongst many organizations. We revisited our overall approach. Today, we prioritize purchasing food directly from women and minority-owned farmers within San Diego County. These organic farmers, such as Hucama Produce in Ramona and Ranchito Milky Way in Bonita, use sustainable techniques such as regenerative soil practices and utilize compost to nourish the soil. By purchasing from these local purveyors, we cut down on the emissions of food transportation and support the local economy. When Kitchens for Good started in 2014, food waste reduction and food rescue was in its infancy, and smaller players like Kitchens for Good worked to create momentum around the issue. Over time, bigger players got involved, and it was much more efficient and effective for them to operate at scale versus our great grassroots level. We also realized, working with our 150 employer partners, that restaurants and other hospitality venues have the greatest impact on reducing food waste. We educate the future chefs of San Diego with knowledge on root to stem and nose to tail cooking. By utilizing and respecting the whole vegetable and the whole animal, we focus on how to properly compost food waste and provide the know-how of purchasing ingredients from local farmers. Our apprentices enter the San Diego restaurant and hospitality scene ready to make the changes they wish to see in themselves and the community. I also urge Mayor Todd Gloria and the Mayor's office to support local and grassroots community-supported composting services. I, for one, recently looked at my bill, which was $470 per month to compost. Now, as a nonprofit, that is an expense that is a bit more expensive than expected. So I also urge the Mayor's office to make composting more affordable for small businesses, especially with SB 1383 requiring composting. We will need to make some subsidies to allow composting to be accessible for all small businesses within San Diego. Additionally, through SB 1383, we can support a sustainable San Diego, one that we all want to see in the future, a place where food can change lives. Thank you. And I'd like to bring up Mayor Todd Gloria once again.
Ryan, thank you. I don't know about you all, but I was getting hungry listening to him describe that soup. Did you bring any with you, Chef? Oh, darn. Okay, all right. Well, more to come. That'll be a good invitation to come back and check up on our progress in the next number of months. I want to thank Ryan, Renee, the council president, for being here today, as well as all these great San Diegans. I want to point out, we'll all be available for one-on-ones, but we have our planning department interim director, Heidi Von Bloom, is here, as well as our sustainability and mobility director, Alyssa Muto, who are here. Both are helping lead other components of our city's response to sustainability, climate action, and working on becoming a greener city, as Ryan was discussing. I want to conclude. Some of you are looking for a date certain. When is that pail going to show up in my kitchen? When is that can going to be on my curb? Well, here's the deal, guys. We're creating a whole new service in the middle of a pandemic. Supply chain issues are real, right? But we are hopeful that this could be in place by late summer. That can, if you're wondering, will be green, for those of you who are design concerned. So you have a black, you'll have a blue, and you'll have a green. That pail, I'm not sure what color that will be or how big it'll be. Cream. It's a cream. All right, start planning your kitchens accordingly. Maybe find a little space for it to go. If you're like me, I don't like seeing all that clutter in my kitchen, so we're going to have to figure out a way to do it. But we all have to do it, right? Because we have to take this action. What sets us apart as San Diegans is this magnificent climate. Let's clue it in, guys. It's winter, and it's gorgeous here, right? And we want to keep it that way, not just for our own enjoyment, but for our kids and our grandkids. So, yes, you'll have a pail, you'll have a green can, you'll be driving an electric car like we're converting the city fleet to. You're going to have some other opportunities to make modest adjustments, as our council president was talking about, that we prefer to see as opportunity. And because we have aggressive climate action plans, we'll be at the forefront of this stuff. We're inviting the opportunity to innovate and to explore and experiment here. Because we think if we can do that, we not only will be on the cutting edge of this stuff, creating a lot of good green-collar jobs, but we'll have the opportunity to export these ideas and solutions that have started here to other communities. And I don't know about you all, but I prefer it when San Diego leads. And on this issue of extreme importance, the livability of our planet, we have to lead. We have no choice. So whether it's what we're announcing today around compliance with SB 1383, our updated climate action plan, which again, the public is welcome to comment on, sandiego.gov/CAP. Yesterday, we had a great win for the climate, I think, with our Homes for All of Us proposal, because let's be clear, housing policy is climate policy, and the fact that more folks will be able to live near transit in this city in the not-too-distant future is one way to drive down greenhouse gas emissions and make sure that we're doing our part for the environment. Alyssa and her SUMO team, we call them SUMO, Sustainability and Mobility, are doing incredible stuff, again, for like cutting-edge things, but put all together, what I want everyone to hear from our governor to our president is that San Diego is leading. And if you want to invest, if you want to explore, if you want to innovate, come here, because we're willing to take the chances to make sure that we do what we have to do, which is protect this beautiful climate that sets us apart as San Diegans. So thank you for being here today. Again, we're all available for one-on-ones, but appreciate you helping spread out the word. San Diego, get ready. You got a green can coming your way soon, and by using that can regularly, you're going to be helping us fight climate change. Thank you all very much.